Hello everyone, welcome to Technology Begins. In this video, we will learn about how to write Fibonacci series program using recursive way in Python. So as we know, Fibonacci series is the series of number in which each number is the sum of two preceding number. And Fibonacci series is starting from 0 or 1 and followed by 1. So that two number must be present inside of the Fibonacci series, and next number will be calculated based on this two preceding sum. Okay, preceding numbers sum, right? So this is how you can build the Fibonacci series. And let's see the program of recursive way for Fibonacci. So here first line is I am taking the input from user, and that input is basically representing till how many number we need to build the Fibonacci series. So I am taking total number 4, okay, which will come from the user. After that, let's come to this for loop, and this for loop is basically giving the each and every number, like range from whatever we get the number from user. So if our total number is 4, so we will get the range from 0 to 4, and each number will be going into the our Fibonacci function. And in recursive way, we have written the Fibonacci recursive call. As we know, whenever function call itself, then it is called recursive function. So here we are calling the same function inside of the Fibonacci function. So this is called the recursive function. So let's see how this Fibonacci series function is working for the to build the Fibonacci series. So as we are taking the each and every element from the range, and that particular value will be going into the our Fibonacci series. So let's trace this over here. So as you can see, if our for loop will starting from 0th element, then I value will be 0, and that I value will be going into the Fibonacci function. And what will be this Fibonacci function do? It will take the argument and check the condition if 0 is less than or equal to 1. Yes, 0 is less than or equal to 1, so we will simply return that value. So as you can see, Fibonacci 0 is, it will return us the 0. So this return value come to the print statement, and it will print the 0. After that, our next element will be 1 from this range, as our range is starting from 0 to 4, because our range is starting from 0 and total number is 4. So our range statement will consider the all the values which are between 0 to 4. So our next element will be 1, and which is going into the Fibonacci function, and this Fibonacci function will take the argument and check the condition is yes, 1 is less than or equal to 1, and it will simply return 1. Fibonacci 1 will return 1, and it will print the 1. Okay, and after that, next iteration will be Fibonacci 2. As you can see, we have at the right side, you can see we have Fibonacci 2, and this Fibonacci 2 is checking this. We are passing this 2, next element is our 2. So this Fibonacci function will check the argument if 2 less than or equal to 1, no, then it will come to this return statement and check. So as we need to get sum of two preceding number, so this is basically the preceding of one number, and this is the number of 2. Okay, as we have seen in iterative way, this is basically a first number and this is basically a second number. So whenever we are calling this function Fibonacci of with parameter 2, then 2 minus 1 will be 1. Okay, so this n value will be 2 minus 1 will be 1. So as we know Fibonacci 1, so this Fibonacci function will call this same function itself, and it will pass the argument 1, and it will check this condition and return value 1. So this Fibonacci 1 will return 1, and if we check over here Fibonacci 2 minus 2 for this Fibonacci function with parameter 2, so that will be the 0, and that argument will come to the same function and it will check the condition and it will return the same value. So what will return by Fibonacci 0? So that will be 0. So as we are doing the sum of that two, Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 0, so what will be the sum? So that Fibonacci 1 output is 1 and Fibonacci 0 output is 0. So we will get the argument 2 for 2 output is 1. Okay, so it will print out the 1, and after that we will check the third element. Whenever this third element will come, it will go into the Fibonacci function and it will check the condition, and if that condition will not match, then it will come into the return statement and call the function again. So for Fibonacci 3, it will call the function Fibonacci 2 as 3 minus 1, and 3 minus 2 is Fibonacci 1. Okay, right, this Fibonacci 1 and this Fibonacci 2, which is basically representing this function call itself. And if this Fibonacci will call with parameter 2, then it will again check the condition and it will not match, then it will coming into this return function and again it will be separated into the two part. Okay, which was this two part? So basically if we are passing with second argument for this Fibonacci 2, then it will be Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 0, and that output will be 1 as we know in the second iteration. And if we are doing sum of Fibonacci 2 and Fibonacci 1, okay, then which output will be 2. So this is how recursive iteration is working and this function call is working. Basically this is separated the function call and what will be the output after the summation. Okay, I hope you understood this concept of recursive way as I have written in this slide. So whenever you are calling this Fibonacci function with parameter 3, which is basically separated out into the two function call, which is nothing but 3 minus 1, so Fibonacci 2, and 3 minus 2 means Fibonacci 1, and after that again Fibonacci function will call with parameter 2, then this condition will not match and again it will separated out into the two function call, and after that if this condition will match, then it will return us the value, and we are doing this sum of that return value, and at the last whatever value we'll get from this function calls and sum, that return value will be going into this print statement and printed. So if I'm going to run this program and giving the total number as 4, then as you can see it will give us the value 0 at the first iteration, second iteration it will be 1, and first iteration it will be 1, and second iteration it will be also 1, as you can see in our second iteration 1, and at the third iteration its value will be 2, as I have shown you in how to trace using the uh, separated by function calls in recursive way. So this is how recursive way is working with Fibonacci series. Okay, so I hope you have understood the recursion function of recursive way of building a Fibonacci series. Thank you. See you in the next video.